We're up on another big food plot. It's more like a winter food plot than anything. A lot of beans. I don't know how many acres there are total, but big strips of beans. So we came in and we're gonna actually hang a stand in that oak tree right behind us. Don't have the stand in there yet, but it's a perfect spot. So we took the tip of this bean field, or this strip of beans, and we just worked it under, replanted beans into it. So we're gonna have nice green beans early through frost. And now we planted a tagged out, horny buckseed tagged out on top of it. There's a ton of moisture in the ground, which I'm really surprised. So this is probably gonna germinate right away. And it's supposed to rain tomorrow. So if that happens, I would say it for sure will. I mean, obviously the ground's warm, but I can't believe the moisture in it. I think the big thing about this one is this soil is real loose, because when he went through and he no-tilled it, and there's like no weeds in it because it's gotten beans early, been sprayed. It's a real clean field, which is part of the weed control that we wanted up to this point. And so you can see how loose this soil is. And if you took this and anchored it right now, it's just way too, the soil's too soft. You can't do that. So there's a lot of green in here right now from these beans. So what I think, this is a real good example of the importance of, you got to get through all this stuff and get down to a good base, a good spot to bed. So I mean, as I dig down, I'm coming across these beans that were worked under. So don't be afraid to kind of use I like a hammer with a straight claw, but use that to get down to good soil to put the base plate on, because then you're not gonna have, now I can literally hear the difference between this and this. You can hear how much more solid it is. So I'm gonna take that, I'm basically getting down, I guess, that far, but that's just the soil that's been kind of lifted up, fluffed up from planting earlier this spring, and then now working it up again. So that's pretty solid right there. Shoot my stakes in. Snug that down. Now I can take all that dirt, push it back in there, pack that down. Nice and solid. So now let's go find us a tree. There's oaks on the edges here. There's birch on the edges here. There are popples down there because that was logged. So I'm sure there's some small popples down there. But I'm gonna look for maybe a different type of tree this time than the popple. Let's try this one. Now I gotta get a straight stretch of it. And that straight stretch, it looks like it's plenty tall, but we'll try to get it down here. Take that out and see what it looks like. We're not sure exactly what kind of tree this is. We're gonna take a picture of it and figure it out. But those are old rubs. So whatever this, I'm interested in what species it is for a variety of reasons. The deer clearly have interacted with it in the past.
Large tooth aspen, I think.
Large tooth
Aspen.
aspen.
You can tell it's an aspen.
You can tell it's an aspen because of the way it is. So I'm guessing it's a popple of some sort. Large toothed aspen. Well, we're gonna see. I know the deer like rubbing on aspen. There's no doubt about it. It's a softwood. I've always had a lot of luck with softwood. Popple. So I think they do like it. So I'm gonna get rid of this thing down here. It does sit, I mean, it's real tall, so it's top heavy. It's kind of funny down here at the base, so I'm gonna spin it a little bit and see if it balances out any better. It's clearly heavy to one side. So what I can do is How tall is it? Pretty tall. So if I took it, yeah, maybe I take it there. So sometimes the key is finding these straight spots. See how just that little crook in that created a lot of issues balance-wise. So it's gotten a little skinnier. So this is the first one that we put in that's been, I would say, significantly smaller than the inside diameter. But that's all right, we got adjustment screws for that. So we'll get it in there, tighten it up. These don't have to be super tight, just so that you can't pull it out. Then we take this, and I don't know if this is causing it. I do think that's a little tall. It's just the way this thing leans. I'm going to turn it a little bit and see if we can get it to, I'd like it to stand just a little straighter if possible.
You have that little knob on it. Is that hitting it?
That's better, isn't it? Does that look a little straighter?
Pretty straight.
Okay, so maybe I didn't need to take the top off. Can't put it back on, so we'll work with it. That's probably it right there. Now that's a pretty small one. That's the smallest one we've put in today. It's plenty tall. You'll be surprised. You'll end up having, that's probably it right there. Now that's a pretty small one. That's the smallest one we've put in today. It's plenty tall. You'll be surprised. You'll end up having real big deer come up and work this thing. Because you gotta remember, this is not a rub post. This isn't something designed to get deer to come up to it and rub it. They will rub it, especially when they start making rubs and scrapes. They'll scrape underneath it too. But the key to this whole thing is not to create a spot for bucks to come and establish territory. The key is have every deer come and mark it, and then create a need for another deer to come mark it, another deer to come mark it. And it's a communal scent post. It's like, it's the spot that they're all gonna come to. Because this is a big area, and you can't cover this with a camera. You can cover this with a 25 camera. So if we can figure out a way to get them to come to one spot, we're gonna get pictures of them. We're gonna get lots of pictures of them, better pictures of them. We're just putting it where we want it. So quick and easy, super simple to set it up. You gotta find the right tree. You know, you gotta have a spot where you can find the right type of tree. I think you experiment with it. But now I'm gonna scent it up, and then we're gonna come back up and put a camera on it, because we're actually gonna put a stick in the ground to put the camera on. So there's no good tree around. So I'm gonna run the bead and drip it all the way down from top to bottom. And there's no science to this. You just get as much surface area as you can. I like putting it on the leaves, drip it down. That's why I do leave some. And then I just start at the top. And by the time I put this here, you can see it's already made it down to the spring. But then I'll come and I'll help it out a little bit. I'll cover this whole thing. I probably put, this is a 2-ounce bottle for applying. I put at least an ounce on it every time. And I don't think it hurts to put more. I think my key is I want to get these guys interested in interacting with it. So they're gonna see it. This is gonna look really different to them when they come in here tonight. All of a sudden their pretty bean field got a chunk of it taken out. And now there's this tree sitting in the middle of it. So the curiosity will get them here. They'll likely get downwind of it. I can smell it myself. If I can smell it, I know they can. And they're gonna come up to it and they go, what is this? And as they start to interact with it physically, 4 out of 7 scent glands on a whitetail doe are on her face, on her head. 4 out of 8 on a buck are. So, and we've gotten video of clearly all 4 on the head, but lots of them where they're getting up and kicking at it. Well, they got an interdigital gland scent. It's unique to each deer. I don't know if that's why they're doing it or not. I've seen bucks straddle this during the rut. There's scent glands down there. So they're clearly putting their mark on it, and then the next year does, and then the next year, and it's just a snowball effect. But I like the looks of it. I'll be real interested to see what that type of tree, how that type of tree works. On to the next.